Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. It was a beautiful Friday the 13th. We had lots of sunshine out there in the forecast. We were still holding on to a few isolated showers. That was across the mountains, and we did see those clouds that were still out there, but a lot more sunshine than we have seen in recent days, as we do have a storm system that is exiting out. Now, when you look at your overnight lows, lots of 40s out there across the inland valleys, also 33 degrees for Ramona, 46 degrees expected. That will be for Escondido, 48 degrees for La Mesa and for Chula Vista, and 50 degrees for downtown. We get to our daytime highs for tomorrow. Any of your outdoor plans for Valentine's Day, Mother Nature is the least of your worries, I'll tell you that, because we're looking at more sunshine, pretty quiet into the start of the weekend. It's not until we get to next week, the start of next week, and that's when things start to change up around here. So a ridge of high pressure bringing in these near seasonal highs for tomorrow, even some low 70s for Escondido as well as for El Cajon. You have the 50s and 60s right there across the mountains and 77 degrees for Borrego Springs. So not talking about a wet start to our weekend when it does come to the rain. And as we go into this weekend, things are going to be relatively dry compared to next week. When we look at our surf forecast, about 2 to 4 feet with a moderate risk of rip currents at our local beaches through tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier today, we did have some isolated activity right there across the mountains. That's because we had a weak low that moved in. And so that low actually is producing a lot more rainfall across portions of Arizona as well as snow, and that's for northern portions of New Mexico. You're also looking at some scattered showers in that region. High pressure is going to be building in our forecast, but it's going to be brief, and that brings in some drier air for tomorrow. So more of the sunshine out there, slight bump up in temperatures as you saw, even some low 70s returning, and we're seeing that for Escondido as well as for El Cajon. Now, we have a dry weekend that's in store for us. So not really talking about drastic rain chances, just really, really low, not really focusing on that for the weekend, but we are focusing on that drastic increase as we hit Monday. That brings us back to about a 96% chance. So that is in the ballpark of, well, likely. We're looking at likely rainfall in the forecast on Monday, tapping into an atmospheric river with an area of low pressure that brings in moderate to heavy rainfall. That also will stick around that low all the way into Tuesday, still holding on to high chances through Wednesday, because it's not just one low that's going to move through. We have one low that moves through bringing an atmospheric river, but the low itself is going to move over us, and then we have a series of other ones that keep our rain chances in the forecast at least through Wednesday. Then you're seeing it drop off by Thursday, still holding on to a chance we could see some showers in the morning. That would be on Thursday. By the afternoon hours, we start to dry out, and then a week from today, we are back to dry conditions out there. So that's the roller coaster we're going to go on when it does come to the rain that is ahead. When we look at the weather impact, you saw this graphic yesterday talking about the rain, but there has been a slight adjustment. So widespread rainfall in the forecast, heavy at times, flood risk will be elevated, and the most active time period has now been adjusted to Monday afternoon through about Tuesday night west of the mountains. It's still the same for the mountains and the desert. That's Monday night through about Wednesday morning, looking at that active period. That's when we're expecting the more widespread rainfall, also heavier rainfall as well. And then outside of that, it's more of the scattered showers. So we're looking at the rainfall back in the forecast, and I want to go ahead and start the clock around this time, and that would be on Sunday. You see clouds out there, they're building in throughout the day, and then we see more of the clouds by Monday when they become more saturated. During the 10 o'clock hour on Monday morning, you're seeing some more light to moderate rainfall moving in. Then you see the heavier stuff start to roll in. So this is on the more the more moderate to heavier side, and that's around noon on Monday. Then we see even heavier. This is when you're talking about the potential for some thunderstorms, a line of them, and that's about 3:15 on Monday. So we're seeing heavy rainfall in our forecast throughout much of the day on Monday, but that window where you're talking about the heaviest activity I showed you, that's now Monday afternoon and lasting all the way through about Tuesday night. So we're still holding on to those chances, seeing a lot of that activity get caught up across the mountains. It's about 4:20 in the afternoon, and that will be on Monday. Also around that time, talking about the cold air that's going to be moving in because the low pressure system is also going to be dropping our snow level. So there's that area of high pressure over the weekend, keeping a lot of that cloud cover at bay, but it's going to be rolling in throughout the day on Sunday. Then we get to the low, tapping into a weakening atmospheric river, but still making quite a dent when it comes to our county. Also on our website, cbs8.com, on the homepage, you will see a list of the preps that are going going into play when it comes to this storm system that's going to be rolling through. Also, something else to keep in mind, if you think back to when we've had atmospheric rivers in the past, if your business or your home flooded, it's a good idea to get sandbags because we are looking at heavy rainfall, again, very similar to what we experienced at the end of December into the start of the new year when we had those more stronger atmospheric rivers that were moving through. So the low itself moves over us and that reinforces some colder air. That's going to allow the snow level to come down, especially by Wednesday as it gets down to roughly about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. We could be seeing a dusting of snow in our local mountains, depending on how much moisture is left over, or even several inches of snow in our local mountains. So I have seen some models suggesting we could see about 4 inches when all is said and done for Julian, also potentially seeing upwards of about 7 to 14 inches. That will be for Mount Laguna. We're going to continue to monitor the situation. Snow level is coming down. We're going to have the cold air there, and then also just that transition of the rain turning into snow from Monday as we go into the middle of next week across our mountains. Then we continue to see areas of low pressure getting closer towards us. And so we are looking at only a slight chance by Friday, but this model is suggesting that could actually go up. So we'll continue to monitor these storm systems as they do roll in. We're looking at a pretty active period that's in store for us for much of next week. So when we break down your extended forecast, you have the 60s for the coast tomorrow for daytime highs, mid to upper 60s, cloud cover rolling in throughout the day. On Sunday, you have 70s for the inland valleys and a lot of upper 60s as well for daytime highs for Valentine's Day. It's looking good. So cloud cover on Sunday. Sunday's that transition day. Then we get to Monday. Rainfall in the forecast, also stronger gusty winds will be in our forecast, helping to bring down temperatures. Those gusts really picking up throughout much of next week, bringing 70s and upper 60s for the inland valleys on Saturday, down to the upper 50s for daytime highs. That will be on Wednesday. Weather impact alert days for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's because of the high chances that we have for that rainfall, especially on Monday. You're still seeing some raindrops on Thursday, but you're not seeing a red box. That's because as of tonight, that chance is below a 50%. If it were higher, I would go ahead and extend the red box, indicating another weather impact alert day. I think what's really going to happen is by Thursday in the morning hours, we still have some lingering showers into the early afternoon, then everything's starting to dry out once we get past that point. For the mountains, you have 60s for tomorrow. You're back into the 50s on that transition day, which will be Sunday. Then you're back into widespread 40s for daytime highs by next week. You have the overnight lows that are going to be near to below freezing, reinforcing that cold air, helping to bring down that snow level. So seeing snow potential there on Wednesday as well as Thursday of next week for our local mountains. For the desert, you have the 70s for daytime highs for tomorrow. I'm still holding on to 70s by Sunday, but a little bit of a drop in temperatures just by a couple of degrees because of the onshore flow and basically that push of the cooler air ahead of that storm system. Then you're back into the 60s and 50s for much of next week, especially on Wednesday as the low moves over us, really bringing down those temperatures and then also reinforcing our chances for wet weather for the desert. So for the areas west of the mountains, coast, inland valleys, we could see about 1 to 2 inches, and that would be about Monday and Tuesday, potentially seeing when all is said and done for the desert, upwards of 1 inch of rainfall as well, and then monitoring the mountains when it does come to that snow. So transitioning from rain being the main culprit in our forecast for the mountains on Monday and Tuesday into snow, and that would be on Wednesday and Thursday. And then we get past that point, and about a week from today, we are looking at weather impact alert days wrapping up. I hope you have a great and safe weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, and we will continue to keep you posted on that storm system for next week. You can see it here, right here on your updates on CBS 8 Plus, and you can also go to our website, cbs8.com, as well as downloading that CBS 8 app and get all the additional alerts right there on your phone. Have a great night.